You can pretty much say that this is the episode where we got ourselves a big plot dump. And I am not kidding. A plot dump so big, it's just horrendous. I am MegamanNG, and I welcome you one and all to another Ace Attorney Anime Season 2 review. Today, we're talking about Episode 20, Bridge to the Turnabout 4th Trial. And boy, this is not going to be pretty, to say the least. I'll provide a summary as well as some of the main points. There is a lot that I have to say here, so let us begin. Upon seeing some blood-stained handwriting, Nick takes it upon himself to investigate the inner temple. All the while, he has this worry that Maya may be in danger. But all the while, his investigation will have him learn many hidden truths. The truth behind the Faye family and all those affected will send a shockwave far greater than any would realize. I'll just say it bluntly and I'll say it straight. This episode is one big, fat plot dump. It's also kind of a mess. But I will say that there is some good things about it. Fortunately, thankfully, this episode is just one big investigation. And we also learned some major revelations. To anyone who has played Trials and Tribulations on the DS, 3DS, Wii, etc., and considering the game's going to be on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, yeah, you know what's to be expected, believe me. But yeah, this episode, we learned the truth about the Faye family and how it's a family that is full of tragedy and bloodshed. And I'm not kidding, tragedy and bloodshed is just an understatement regarding this family. Because it's all about a conflict of power of succession between the main family and the branch family. The main family, as it is pretty obvious, are those who pretty much, well, as are the main family. When anyone not born, like relatives, are in the branch family and have to forever serve the main family. This causes conflict between the two families and it leads into an all-out battle, like assassinations that have happened throughout the years. It's just a mess. And we finally learn the real identity of the victim. Elise Stonem, as it's pretty obvious, is revealed to be Misty Faye, daughter of Mia and Maya Faye. And we also learn why Misty came to Hazakura Temple to begin with. Because of Morgan Faye, who even now is still determined to have Pearl be the next master, not realizing that everything that she has done is going to end up being for naught. And another big revelation, Morgan Faye didn't just have pearls. She also had twin daughters, Iris and Dahlia Hawthorne. Yeah, Iris and Dahlia are twins. And yeah, when I first found out about this in the games, really didn't see it coming, because I always thought they were like two separate people. But eventually, upon learning the truth, oh boy, it was a mess. It was crazy. It really was crazy, and the next episode, it's gonna get even more ridiculous. Edgeworth also makes an appearance in this episode, and surprisingly, Godo doesn't appear in this episode at all. Because after what happened last week, I mean, can we blame him? No, we can't. We honestly can't. Edgeworth also appears, and we actually learn what really happened to Dahlia Hawthorne after the events of Turnabout Memories. After she was charged with the murder of Doug Swallow, she was sentenced to death. But here's the thing. They say that the dead remain dead and they don't come back. Regarding the Ace Attorney series, the dead can't entirely go away. Besides, we're dealing with spirit channeling and whatnot, and it's the one thing that allows the dead to speak to the living. The dead can't go away that easily. And Nick, due his own wisdom, was able to figure things out. And on the day of the incident, we learned that there was more than one Iris. Dahlia had been channeled by a spirit medium. The question is who? And Iris, for whatever reason, decides to provide some backstory about herself, and we learn that even back then, before the events of Turnabout beginning, she was an accomplice. It was messy. And all the while, we learn why Dahlia did all this. Because she wanted revenge against her father for leaving his wife, Morgan Faye, and taking the twin children. Saying things like the place was a hick dive and he had no reason to be there. if you remember that line, I mentioned it already. Flip the first letters of those two words and you find out what it really means. Well played. You guys can figure that out. And also, the investigation also revealed that Nick, or rather, we've learned what Pearl was up to on the day of the incident. This is actually one of the flaws that I have with this episode, because most of this in the games is pretty much Psyche-lock segments. And there were 3. You had the 4-lock one with Sister Bikini, which was really, really easy to say the least. Then came the 3-lock one with Iris, and we learned about the big revelation. And Pearl's is actually one of the hardest. Pearl's having 5 locks, meaning that she had something to hide, and we had to break the locks to figure out what she was really doing. And how did she end up in this predicament? In the end, it was all an elaborate plot by Morgan Fay so that Pearls would take over as Curain Master. Pearls had no idea. She always thought that it was good for Mystic Maya, but if she knew the real reason behind it, she wouldn't do it. She also did bring up another revelation. She couldn't even channel Dahlia because someone else had already done so, because she thought that she lost her powers, but in truth, no, someone else has channeled Dahlia, and even now they are still doing it, which is kind of surprising. Part of me wonders regarding Pearls that if she figured out the truth, she wouldn't do it. In fact, she would end up hating her own mother for it. And the episode ends just like it did with the games, that with Morgan in her cell, saying that the main family line will now disappear and that Pearls will be the new master, not realizing that her plan would end up becoming one big failure. As I mentioned already, this episode is a complete and utter mess. It's a major plot dump to an extreme because they give you so much of this in a 22-minute episode that you don't even get time to breathe. Yeah, some segments as well had to also be changed around. The Psyche-lock sections have been replacing with just banter and whatnot. And like I said, it's one big plot dump. There was also some changes to the games, like in one instance, it wasn't Edgeworth was responsible for Iris, but in the anime, it was Gumshoe. Not only that, but also Gumshoe and Phoenix Wright in the games figured out the murder weapon. Instead, in the anime, it's pretty much, well, Nick and Edgeworth learning that there was a hidden blade within that staff. I mean it. Anyone who did not play Trials and Tribulations and is watching this episode are gonna feel pretty lost. The episode was alright, just messy. Majorly messy. It also does connect itself to various other cases throughout the original Ace Attorney trilogy. So yeah, in a way, Bridge to the Turnabout serves as a culmination of several important plot points throughout the entire series, and I mean the first trilogy, dating all the way back even to Turnabout Goodbyes. Next week is D-Day for Nick, as he has to figure out the truth, even if it kills him. My final score for this is a 7. I'm not kidding, it's a 7. It's a 7 because even though I found the episode to be alright, the episode was a mess. It was like one big plot dump, and they had to make a lot of changes around to make this episode work. It would have been nice had they even give Nick like a Magatama and he had to figure things out. But that would take too long, and besides, these episodes are 22 minutes long, so you gotta make some cuts. But overall, all of this is setting up nicely to the big endpoint, and boy, it's going to be big. We're now at episode 20, and there are probably 6 or so episodes left in this. I'm more curious to see how this is going to end, as do all of you. What do you guys think of the episode? Was it good? Was it bad? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell. Doing it all helps out to my benefit. It really does. This is MegamanNG signing off. Peace out. See you next week for 5th trial. Yay!